Good morning, everyone. Guys, I'm gonna just mix it a bit. The English sometimes get too much. Just warning you. But nevertheless, for those who didn't know me, I am Mervin Julius, and I will be the host for today. And Delphina, that's the one. She's gonna be the speaker of today. But before we get into the program, today's Rags to Riches conference, it's about dreams and transformations. And I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview from my side of my story about dreams. I had a lot of dreams, but not all can come true at one stage. One of my dreams was to become a business owner. And due to COVID, it was a bit on hold. And one night, 2 o'clock that morning, I woke up and I had only a 75 rand in my bank account. And I said to myself, this is not a 75, 175 rand to be correct. And that was the only cost to just start the business, to get it onto paper legally. And that one night, I paid that morning, that 175 rand for my business. So I'm a proud owner of my catering business and also a takeaway, small takeaway, which I run from my house. Traditional roaster cook. Ask Delphina, she knows about it, and the family. So they're well aware of that. I'm not going to ask Yolanda because I see the eyes. But nevertheless, that is one of my dreams which did become true. Not that I was just keep on dreaming and not put it into reality. So, and I want to take these words, and my pastor is also here. He said almost every Sunday that nothing is impossible, anything is possible. Thank you for that words. I took it into advice. But that is just one of the dreams. And then I met Delphina. And the first course I did with her was the BMed Hall, from BMed Hall was, sorry, now you must, I did, yeah, BMed Hall. And I was like, what is this all about? What am I going to learn in these courses? And one of that I took really serious was how to conduct a difficult conversation. Sometimes you get in a conversation and you don't know what to say or how to handle it. And that is your guidelines. And it's all based on John Maxwell. And guys, I must say, really, she even advised me that build your own library. And I'm doing it now. I do have, I think, 4 books now. Thank you, Delphina. And I'm crazy of that books. I'm not a reader fan, believe me. If I get to page 2, then I forgot what was happening in page 1. So, but she started something. She said to me, just try it. If you don't try it, you will never know. So I tried it and it's working. And there is some words that you think, oh, it's not going to work for me. But believe me, it's working. Anything is possible. I'm not going to keep you further because I can talk a lot, really. Ask Delphina during that courses. I ask a lot of questions and we discuss. Sometimes we go off the record, sometimes we forgot about the subject and share stories and share experiences. But guys, this is all what she's going to explain to us, how you can put your dream into reality, how we can transform Fisantekraal, because I think that's the main aim for all of us sitting today here. And I see Cheryl also here from FCD, welcome. And I think she's also part of that people in this community who wants Fisantekraal to be transformed. So I want you to put your hands together and we ask Delphina to come forward and she's gonna take over from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mervin. Okay. It was July 2020, and I had had been looking for a community where I could make a difference. I had just started a business, and I was always into people development. And I was looking for a place that was my community. I had done lots of community service in different places, but it was always far from home. And I wanted a place that was near to my home where I could say I'm serving my community. So my mother told me about this organization called the Father's Heart, which some of you know about, and what they were doing in Fisantekraal. And I thought, that's my community. Maybe I should go listen. So I went that day to Jill and Michael's house, and in the living room there I sat with them, and they began to tell me about Fisantekraal. Now, I had never been to Fisantekraal. I knew about it. I had known people who lived here, but I had no idea what was happening here. I had no idea of the struggles. I had no idea even what the place looked like. I'd never driven in here. And that day, as Jill and Michael were talking to me, I began to visualize Fisantekraal. I began to dream. And I have a dream that one day Fisantekraal will rise up and live out the true meaning of prosperity and success. And I have that dream because I believe that all people are created equal. And every human being deserves the opportunity for success. I have a dream that one day in Fisantekraal, we'll see beautiful gardens, clean streets. We'll see joyful children protected wherever they go. We'll see families restored to peace and safety. We'll see businesses rise up and a whole economy developing here right in Fisantekraal. As Jill and Michael were speaking to me, I saw a street. Now, remember, I'd never been here. But I saw this road, and in my mind's eye, this was it was the main road in the CBD of Fisantekraal. And I saw this beautiful road with tarred pavements, no sand blowing around, tarred, clean pavements, this beautiful road. And along the sides were trees, big, shady trees. I saw buildings on that road, colorful buildings on each side. You know, in Greenville, they've got the green square houses, the square ones with the different colors. I actually saw that. I had no idea how the buildings looked here, but I saw these colorful buildings on either side. And they were not single story, but they were double story. And in these buildings, they were businesses, not houses, businesses. And there was a supermarket, there was a workshop, there was a hair salon, a coffee shop, a restaurant, all different kinds of businesses. And the way I saw this, upstairs was where the people lived. They lived upstairs and the business was downstairs. And I began to, that's what got the dream going as I began to visualize Fisantekraal. I believe that we will see hunger and neglect, injustice, rape and murder, abuse, crime, violence, unemployment, corruption, all of that begin to fade away and become a thing of the past. I believe that every newborn baby in Fisantekraal will be wanted and looked after, not neglected or thrown away. I have a dream that one day the people of Fisantekraal will all live in peace, joy, safety, and prosperity. This is the dream that I have today for Fisantekraal. And I want to ask you a question today. What is your dream for Fisantekraal? Do you have a dream? Do you have a dream for your own life? If you do, is there any chance that your dream can be fulfilled in your lifetime. There are many people who were not encouraged to dream. Others had dreams, maybe that's you, but they lost hope, they forgot their dreams. But you know, dreams are so valuable. Dreams are the things that wake us up in the morning. Dreams give us energy. Dreams give us a reason to live. Dreams give us a hope for a better future. Dreams are the energy that drive us every day. So I want to talk a bit about reasons why people don't dream. Maybe you find yourself in that position. I want to help you today to revive the dream that you once had, or if you've never had a dream, to begin thinking about having a dream. So sometimes people forgot about their dreams because other people told them it wasn't worth it. You know those people who tell you, you tell them about your dream and then they say to you, it's never going to happen. Who do you think you are? Or how about this one? You think you're better than us? I've got a name for those people. I call them the dream killers. The minute you tell them your dream, they just want to shoot it down. They want to kill your dreams. But there's a reason why they do that. They just don't have a dream for themselves. They don't think that anyone else should have a dream, and they're not really doing it intentionally. It's just that they don't have a dream. There were some researchers once, they did an experiment, and they put 4 monkeys in a room. And in this room, there was this high tree. And at the top of the tree, they had this huge branch full of bananas. So the monkeys were in the room, and it didn't take very long, and they spotted those bananas up there. So the first one went running up the tree to get to the bananas. But just before he could get there, these researchers had a bucket of water. And they would pull the rope, and they would tip this bucket of water onto the monkey. Of course, the monkey got such a fright that he just ran back down again. So one by one, the monkeys kept trying, and every time they would get a bucket of water over them and they'd run back down. And they never actually got to the bananas. So then the researchers took one of those monkeys out and they put in there another monkey who knew nothing about the water. Of course, it didn't take long. The monkey saw the bananas, he went running up. But the moment he ran up, the other 3 monkeys jumped on him and they pulled him down. They didn't want him to get the water. They were trying to help him. And every time he tried, the others would pull him down. Eventually, they would take another monkey out that knew about the water, and they'd put another one in that didn't know. And the same thing would happen. Over and over, they would pull each other down. Eventually, there were 4 monkeys in the room, and none of them had ever experienced the water. But every time one went up the tree, the others would pull him down. And this illustrates a point. They pulled each other down, but they didn't know why. And that's what the dream killers do. They don't know why. So don't get angry with them. They really don't realize what they're doing. Maybe you had a dream and you were hurt or disappointed. Maybe it was a business that just went wrong. Someone stole. The people didn't pay. Someone let you down. And you gave up. You were so disappointed. You didn't want to go through that again, so you gave up. You stopped trying. Or maybe you had a dream, but that dream was so big, you didn't feel that you were worthy. You didn't think you could reach that dream, so you settled for something average. Maybe your dream was so big, it was way up here. And you thought, no, that's not possible, and you settled for something over here, average. Maureen Dowd said, the minute you settle for average, you end up getting less than what you settle for. So if your dream was up here and you settled for average, you end up getting below average. Some of us don't feel confident. We just can't see ourselves living that dream. We think, I just can't see myself, and we don't even try. But I want to tell you today, if you had the right tools and you believed that you could reach your dream, you can reach your dream. If you will create a dream or revive the dream that you once had and begin to chase after that dream again, you can move from being hopeless to feeling hopeful. A person who's hopeless doesn't see a better future. They think it's never going to happen. But if you have a dream, you will begin to see a better future. That's what dreams do. That's why they energize us. You will also move from being, maybe you're not hopeless, you don't feel hopeless, but you're optimistic. And you believe that one day things will change. But there's something better than optimism, and you can move from optimism to also hopefulness, because optimism says it's going to change and it waits. But hopefulness says, I'm going to do something that's going to make things change. That's what a dream does. When I was sitting in Jill and Michael's living room, they told me that the people of Fisantekraal call themselves the forgotten people. When I heard that, my heart broke. I could not imagine someone living and feeling like they've been forgotten. But if you can ignite that dream, you will realize that you have not been forgotten, but that you actually have been remembered. In Fisantekraal, for years, there have been organizations and businesses coming in to help the people, and they came because you were remembered. But if you don't have a dream, it doesn't matter how many people try to help you, you'll always feel forgotten. That is why it's so important to have a dream. So let's say you have your dream. You know, you've got to check this dream out. Is this really the path that you're supposed to take? And you've got to test it. You've got to ask yourself questions that will help you so that you can be sure that this is something that you're going to go through right to the end. Because we don't want to give up on our dream. We want to push through until we live that dream. So a few questions that you've got to ask yourself is it really my dream? You know, we could live someone else's dream and not realize, and we can't understand why we don't want to go to work in the morning. We can't understand why we don't feel any hope for our lives. But actually, we've been living someone else's dream. So you've got to own your dream. It's got to be your dream. Now, sometimes two people's dreams will come together, and they will share a vision, and they work together for a common dream. That can happen, but you've got to know that. I want to tell you two stories about people's who followed other people's dreams. The first story is a friend that I had, and his father was an accountant, rekenmeester for the Afrikaans people. And his father said, "You should be an accountant. You make good money. It's easy hours. It's a nice job," and all the things that his father enjoyed, he told to the son. And the son didn't realize he had to think of his own dreams, so he followed his father's dream. So he qualified, he became an accountant. About 20 years later, he was around 40 years old. It dawned on him that he had not been living his dream. He was living his father's dream. And he realized it only 20 years later. So I want to tell you another story now about a similar scenario, but it's a very different type of story. And the reason why I'm telling the stories is maybe you find yourself in that position. And there's something that you will recognize in the stories that will help you. It's my story. My parents had a dream. My mom is here. She can verify the dream of hardware stores. They built a big business with hardware stores. And as children, we are 4 children. We grew up in the business, and we loved working in the business. And we bought our father's dream, but it became our dream. And I remember I loved every day of my work. I never had a day where I didn't feel like going to work, or I didn't enjoy what I was doing. I really loved my work. It became my dream. Years went by, and I grew as a person. I matured, and my focus began to move from hardware to people. And I began to develop a passion for growing people. And I realized that the years in the hardware game were all preparation for me. It was part of my journey to prepare me for when I would begin to identify a different dream so that I could pursue that. So sometimes you're living in someone else's kind of shadow and you're on the wrong path. But sometimes it's part of your journey and you need to follow through, because that will lead you to the place of your dream. You see, when it comes to your dream, you should never compare yourself to other people. Your dream is unique. It's a plan that is for you. It's a purpose given to you. You know what happens when we compare our dreams with other people's dreams? If we compare our lives and our dreams to other people who are further than us, you could say they've reached more success than us so far. When we do that, it makes us feel inferior. We feel like we're less and we're not worthy. And when we compare our dreams and our lives to people who are like a bit behind us, they're not quite where we are, then we feel like we're better than them. And neither of that is any good. Both of those are destructive in some way. But if we stop comparing ourselves, then we focus our energy on pursuing our own dream. We can't be pursuing our own dream and looking at everybody else, because that's going to slow us down. We want to put our energy and our focus into following our own dream. So we should always be looking for what is our dream. And don't let other people tell you what your dream should be. Remember my friend? He just believed it. He never thought to question, is this really where I'm supposed to go? And don't worry about what others think. Maybe you've got a dream that's like weird, strange, and you don't know anybody else who's got that dream, or it's way out there somewhere. Don't worry what people think. Follow your dream. Do you know, I have a saying, and it's really true. Some of you might start laughing before I start saying this, because you've heard it before. At 20, you spend most of your time worrying about what people think of you. When you get to 40, you just don't care what they think. And when you get to 60, Mervin's laughing already. When you get to 60, you realize that they haven't been thinking about you at all. So don't worry. I'm going to give the young people a heads up. You can stop worrying right now. It's not worth it. So when you are trying to discover your dream or pursue your dream, you want to ask yourself a couple of questions so that you can verify, is this really where I should be? You don't want to be confused like my friend was and follow the wrong path. You want to know if you see the dream clearly. You got to ask yourself, do I clearly see my dream? I don't know which way. So you guys are all blurry when I look up there, but here it's clear. So why must I see my dream clearly? Just imagine this. I want to be famous. Famous for what? I want to be rich. What are you going to do with the money when you get rich? Have you got a plan? Are you clear about where you want to go? Someone once said, if you don't know where you're going nowhere. We need to know where we're going. Are you taking control to achieve your dream? The reality is there are things that you need to do. And I must control the things that I can control. I can control the actions and the choices that I make. We need to be sure that we are really doing what we can do. It's not I can't. It's what can I do? Is there something I can do? When I start to act on that, I'm taking control to move towards my dream. Does your dream pull you? Is there passion in your dream? Does it wake you up in the morning? Does it give you energy? Because if it's not, then you've got to ask yourself, is this really my dream, or is this just an idea, a bright idea? Oh, I had pizza last night, too much pizza, and now I've got this idea. Maybe there must be passion. It must drive you. You must feel fulfilled when you are working your dream. Have you got a strategy? Do you have a plan of action? You know, we can sit and dream and dream and dream for years and years. But if we don't have a plan and we're not doing something, that dream will just remain a pipe dream. Someone once said, the graveyard is the wealthiest place, because there in the graveyard are many dreams that people didn't live. They just dreamed it, but they never lived those dreams. They took the dreams to the grave. I don't want that to happen to any of you here today. At the end of your life, I would like for you to be able to say, I did everything I could. I pursued my dream, and I began to enjoy the benefits of living my dream. Have you included people for your dream? When I came to Fisantekraal, I thought I better get people to help me, because there's no way this huge dream that I have for Fisantekraal can happen just with me. I couldn't do it by myself. And we need to have people. We need to talk to people. It's not a one-man journey. I must be willing to partner with people. When I started this conference, it was the same thing. When I decided I have to do this conference, I needed a team. But I'll tell you more on that later. Does my dream benefit others? This is so important, because you know, if you have a dream that's only going to benefit you, you'll get some enjoyment out of it. You'll achieve some success with it. But you put a limit on it. Your dream must always go beyond you. It must be bigger than you. It must involve other people. Is anybody else going to benefit from your dream? I'll give you a few simple examples. If you want to have a business, think about all the people that you will employ who will have an income so they can feed their families. That is a good motive for a business. It's not just for me to get rich, but I also want to be able to help families. How about having a dream because I want to give my children a better education? That's a good reason. It's not just for me to have a speedboat, a fancy car, a double-story house, and go on holiday. I want my children to have a better future. My house is small. I need a bigger house. And part of my dream is so that I can build a bigger house for my family. You see, it's quite simple. It's not that complicated, is it? I gave those examples because sometimes we think, oh, now I must start a foundation. I must go, and I can't think of myself. No, you've got to look after yourself first. But let it not end by you. By you, you are the starting place. But let it move and let it become bigger than you. And now is the important question you got to ask yourself. And this is the big one where a lot of people stop. Am I willing to pay the price? Are you willing to pay the price for your dream? Because it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you some change. Not coins, money change, but a change in the way you see your life. A change in your habits. A change in how you live out your life. I got some good news and I got some bad news. Good news first. The good news is that the dream is free. The bad news is that the journey is not free. It's not really bad news, but it's not going to be a go just casual down the road kind of journey. Because at some point you got to own your dream. You got to move from being a believer of the dream, that's free, and you got to come over to being a buyer of the dream. And the thing with being a buyer of the dream is that you're going to start paying that price really soon. The minute you take one step of action towards your dream, you start to pay a price. Most of the time, the price is higher than we expect. I've never heard a successful person say, you know what? I was just enjoying my life, taking it easy, watching more TV, more TV, more TV, hanging around, wasn't working too hard, just, not too much work, just enough, I wasn't really exerting myself. It was very relaxed. And then one day, I woke up and I was successful. I didn't see it coming. It just happened in a flash. I didn't even know, and the next thing I was successful. I've never heard someone say something like that. I've never heard someone say, becoming successful was a lot easier than what I thought. If you talk to any successful person, they will tell you it was hard work. They will remember that it was an uphill journey. John Maxwell says, if you want to be successful, it's like this. He doesn't mean trouble and problems, although sometimes that happens. We have difficulty. What he means is you got to live on purpose. You must be aspres for the Afrikaans people. You've got to be intentional. Because if you put a ball on the road, it's not going to roll uphill. It will always roll downhill. And if we leave our lives on automatic, it's going to go downhill. We've got to live life on purpose. That's one of the prices that you pay. You got to pay the price of blocking those criticizers. Remember the dream killers? You don't need them. They are the criticizers are the ones that block you from moving forward in your dream. You got to block those people. Some of them might be your friends. You might have to give up some friends. Are your friends helping you to pursue your dream, or are they pulling you down? More on that later. So you're going to pay the price of hard work, blocking those criticizers, changing the way you do things. That's the change, not money change. We need to make some changes. Most people reach the level of their dreams based on that price that they want to pay. And you know what? When the price gets too high, they stop and they settle for average. Remember average? You settle for average and you'll end up getting less than average. Sometimes the problems are many and the obstacles are many. But are we willing to push through those problems and those difficulties? I moved into personal development and I decided to make a business of it. Because that's how I grew up. I grew up in business. So just try to picture this. 2020, does anyone remember what happened in 2020? I mean, who can forget? COVID. It was the beginning of the year. I had a plan. I had my strategy. I'm going to start my business. I wrote a personal development course, which Mervyn mentioned, the Be Made Whole course. And I was going to take this to all the businesses. I'm going to go to people and I'm going to help their teams so I can grow their staff. And I had this huge plan. I was going to go out. Then our president got up to speak. I heard about this COVID happened, this virus there in China, but it's far away, it's other side of the world. I'm carrying on with business. And then the president got up to speak and he says, you are not going anywhere for 3 weeks. Remember that? And then after that he said 2 more weeks. All my plans were shattered. Everything I wanted to do was outside of my home. All my plans. So did I give up? No, couldn't give up. This dream, I was so determined for this dream that I had to help people, to grow people. What did I do? I went back to my desk and I threw away all my plans into the bin. And I started all over again with a new plan. I said, what have I got? What can I do right here in my house? I had a cell phone, a computer, and a Gmail account. I got my, if you don't know how to do something tech, just ask your children. I think they are born, they get a manual before they're born or something. They know exactly. I went to my children, just show me how to do this, show me how to do that. And they helped me. And I started to put my training on videos. I thought, well, if I can't leave the house, I'll put it out there and I'll let people know at least I can help people. I don't have to go to them. They can just play on YouTube and there it is. I could have given up. Do you know, if I gave up that day, I would not be here in Fisantekraal today. I would not have been giving the training that I'm giving here for the last 2.5 years. It would never have happened. Because when I came here, I came with my course. Imagine if I just gave up on it and I said, oh well, let's wait till COVID ends. I don't think it's ended yet, actually. We're so used to it now, we don't even know. But imagine if I just let it go. There are people who I've come to know and help here that we would never have met. So when you have a dream, you've got to know if you really are building your dream. Because you can be a fantasizer or you can be a dream builder. There's a big difference between the two. And I want to explain the two. If you're sitting here today, think about your dream. You can work out from this that I'm going to give you if you are a fantasizer or a dream builder. Now, if you are a dream builder, according to this comparison, keep going. You're on track. Don't stop. Keep moving. But if you find yourself over here by the fantasizers, I want to encourage you today. It's easy to move. You've just got to make a few adjustments. You can move from being a fantasizer to being a dream builder. So, a fantasizer. A fantasizer relies on luck. The fantasizer, he says, I'm waiting for my lucky day. Something's going to happen. I'm just going to wait until it happens. I'm just going to get me another lotto ticket. Maybe it's my lucky day. I'll do 2 lotto tickets today. Maybe it's my lucky day. That's a fantasizer. But a dream builder relies on, this might be a swear word. A dream builder relies on discipline. Who wanted to hear that now? We thought we were just going to get on a boat and cruise into our dream. No. If you're a dream builder, you've got certain disciplines in your life that help you to reach your dream. We've got to have, you don't have to be like an army camp at home. You don't have to be like an army style. But there are certain things, certain disciplines you've got to keep. And you've got to have just those ones. And those are the ones that are helping you move closer to your dream. A fantasizer relies on the destination. A fantasizer says, I want to play for Manchester. I hope there's no Liverpool guys here. Manchester United. Or Bafana. And if they don't ask me, I'm not playing soccer with anybody else. I just want to be there, up there. They focus on the destination. If it's not Bafana or Manchester, I'm not going to join them. That's a fantasizer. But a dream builder focuses on the journey. A dream builder says, I don't care who I play with. I'll play with anybody, but one day I will get there. But right now, I'm going to focus on my next step. I'm going to do whatever it takes right here where I am, and I know that one day I will get to the team that I want to play for. I want to tell you a quick story of someone. His name was John Wooden. I think he passed away now. I don't know if he's still around, but he was a basketball coach in the United States. There goes my background. Can you still see me? He was a basketball, oh, thanks, honey. He was a basketball coach, and he was highly successful. And when he took over the team that he coached, they won leagues, trophies, championships. They were a star team. I forget the name of the team, but you can Google John Wooden. He's written books. You will find things on him. And they were so well known in the United States that they would be on the front cover of the newspaper, and they would be in the headlines. Today that would be social media. You know, they would be all over social media. That's how well known they were. So one day the reporter was interviewing Mr. Wooden, and he said to him, he asked him a question, and he said, Mr. Wooden, it's fine, just leave it like that, don't worry. If it comes down, just focus on me. So the reporter asked him a question, and he said, Mr. Wooden, if you could go back to one day in your career, what would be the highlight of your career? What would be the day that you would want to go to? Now, the reporter was expecting something like, the day we won this league, the day we won this trophy, you know, when they interviewed me, and it was the headlines, and that's what the reporter was expecting. But do you know what Mr. Wooden said? He said, if I could go back to one day in my career, I would go back to practice day on the basketball court. Mr. Wooden enjoyed the journey. A fantasizer minimizes the value of work. So when they need to do something to follow their dream, you know what, it's cold outside, tomorrow. I'm just going to chill here a little bit, and I'll take the day off. Tomorrow, môre is nog 'n dag. But a dream builder maximizes the work that they do. Does anyone remember the moonwalk? You know the moonwalk? Michael Jackson? Who has not tried the moonwalk? Has anyone tried the moonwalk here? We've all tried the moonwalk. I don't. The only people who haven't tried the moonwalk is those little babies who haven't started walking yet. You know, one day they'll try. So, everybody knows the moonwalk. But do you know that it is said that before Michael Jackson got on stage to do the moonwalk, remember the first time, and everyone wowed, you know, and I mean the same day we were all trying the moonwalk. Oop. Is it here? Good. The day before he went out on stage to do the moonwalk, it is said that he had this little board that he would walk around with, and he would, if he was somewhere and he was waiting for something, maybe he had 5 minutes waiting for a lift or waiting for somebody. Every time he was waiting for something, he had his board with him, and he would put that board down and he would practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice, practice. Today, Michael Jackson is gone, but the moonwalk is still very much alive. They still do the moonwalk on stage. They still do all those moves that he did. He maximized the work that he did. A fantasizer makes excuses. They wait. They want to make other people responsible. They say things like, I was born on the wrong side of the railway line. Who am I? My skin's the wrong color. My ears are too big, my nose is too small, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too big, I'm too small, I'm too this. Nobody came to help me. I didn't get something from someone. They always look for excuses. They try to make it someone else's responsibility. But a dream builder relies on action. They take action. They don't wait for someone else to do something. And they take responsibility. They say, it's up to me, and I'm not going to wait for people for me to pursue my dream. A fantasizer often will do things alone. They don't tell a lot of people about what they're doing. They don't tell people they dream, maybe it doesn't work out, I rather don't tell anyone. They tend to do things on their own. But a dream builder understands that to achieve anything, we cannot do it on our own. And we need people to come alongside us. A dream builder realizes that one is too little of a number to actually make a difference. You can achieve something on your own, but not much. All of us is better than one of us. Now I would like to ask everybody in the audience if there's anyone who calls himself a dream builder. You put up your hand. I've got a gift. We had quite a few. I want to think who came up first of the guests. Atini. Now remember, a book is a nice gift, but it only has value in your life when you read it. You got to read the book. I want to tell you another story, the story of my dad. Speaking of dreams, my dad came to South Africa as an adult in the mid-1960s, and he wanted to have a better future. He had a dream of a better future. You see, he grew up in Portugal. He was born in the time of World War II. And he grew up in a small little village in a poor family. They didn't have much, but he had a dream of a better future. And when he was a child, he was sent, because during the war, there was a shortage of food. And my father was sent to walk miles and miles to a place where they were handing out bread for the people. And then he would stand in that queue and wait for a loaf of bread to take back to his family. So he came to South Africa in the mid-60s. He was almost 30 years old then. And he built his dream with my mom, and our 4 children came along. And then it was the 1970s and the 80s where there were riots going on because of apartheid. There was instability, and people were expecting a civil war. And my father said, I did not bring my children into the world for them to stand in a queue for a loaf of bread. And between him and my mom, they were determined not to let that happen. And they worked very hard to follow their dreams so that today, none of their children have ever had to beg for bread. Now, we've had difficult times. Everyone has difficult times. But I never had to stand in a queue for a loaf of bread. Now, I'm telling that story for a reason. Maybe you're sitting here and you're thinking, I want to give my children a better future than I had. I want to give them a better life than what I had. It is possible. But you have to be determined. John Maxwell says, you have to give up to go up. My father left all his history behind and came to South Africa with 2 bags. You got to give up to go up. And if he could do that, anybody can do it. You can do it. You can change the pathway that you might find. Your history maybe was on a negative path or not a good path, but you can turn it around. If you will follow your dream, you need to have a dream to turn it around. So do you see the cost of the dream? It's a big cost. Are you willing to pay the price? You see, we've all been given this privilege. And it's the privilege of choice. No one's holding a gun to your head saying, you better have a dream, you better do something. No one. We get to choose what we're going to do and if we will do something. Will you choose to transform your life? It starts on the inside. When you begin to make the changes on the inside, you begin to see your value as greater on the inside. And when you do that, your behavior begins to change on the outside. And as your behavior begins to change on the outside, you become contagious. And people come and they want to know about you and what you've done so that they can also experience. They will look to you and say, oh, look how their life changed. I want my life to change. So you've got to get bigger on the inside than what you are on the outside. I would like you to join me in part 2 today. And I'm going to talk about how you can transform your life, your home, your community, and ultimately the whole town of Fisantekraal. If you can just begin, it begins on the inside of you. If you can begin that journey for yourself, it eventually overflows. And you start to see your dream and start to live your dream. And others will come and want to know. Because at the end of the day, we want this to extend beyond ourselves so that it can move towards the community and the people around us. So join me in part 2 today as we move into transformation, how we can see our lives and our community transformed. Thank you very much.
Wow. Do I need to say more? I don't think so. But I'm expecting the next session of this. Sorry for that. I'm looking forward to the next part of this session, of this conference. While you were speaking, I realized there's more dreams that I discovered. So thank you for that. How many dreams can we have? Yo. Okay, so guys, did you enjoy it? Was it worth sitting here listening to all the dreams? And yo, I don't know what to say actually. Nevertheless, I'm not going to keep you. See now the program that now. Oh, okay. Sorry. We're going to break for tea now. So there is nice tea, coffee, biscuits, and drinks. But the VIPs, you can follow me for now to the VIP room, and then thereafter, after 20 minutes, then we're gonna announce the next session where Delphina is gonna talk to you about transformation. So you won't miss that, or you won't like to miss that, because I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that is break time. Thank you very much. Give a hand of applause to her again, please, guys. Seems like you guys are jealousing because you don't do it. But nevertheless, I'll see you after 20 minutes. Thank you.